a data center out there, keep in mind that a data center has redundant servers, they have redundant power supplies, they have the adequate cooling systems there in case of some kind of a act of God happens, a hurricane or a storm or something like that, and then it makes a difference because you know that your system is going to be 99.999% upline. Another thing would be with the one of these data centers, they're going to have improved security. So they're not only going to have the physical security with the software and with the devices that can actually detect intrusion, but they're also going to have the physical security like security cameras, access control where people have to use either a key card, they're going to use maybe a fingerprint, it could be biometric. They're going to use some of these devices that's actually going to help secure your data, and your data is going to be secure in the cloud. And the third thing with the use of a data center would be the pure scalability. It's much easier when you go to a data center that's out there and they need to actually add another server because you're at near capacity of your data that you have right now. But it's easy to scale up or scale down and actually provide storage and to give you the fast bandwidth that you need so your data is coming to you really quickly. So those would be the three reasons. One would be the enhanced reliability, the uptime, the improved security, and the scalability.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit more about how improved security matters? I mean, we all know that we're at risk anytime we're using a technology, right? But let's talk about improved security a little bit deeper, because I think it's an important topic.
Yeah, so if you actually, a lot of times we work with our clients with a data center, we want to make sure that your data is actually clean going into the center. So that way when the data comes out. So you want to make sure that you improve your security so that way you can actually have the protocols in place to catch like phishing emails. You want to be able to actually scrub your information or scrub your network so you can actually catch any kind of viruses, any kind of bugs, any kind of anomalies that may be lying inside your data there. You want to be able to catch that. So when you come to the improved security with it, you're looking at the phishing, you're looking at the scrubbing, you're adding devices so that when you receive an email that comes through your servers, it actually is going to go through like a proxy server just to vet it out to make sure that proxy server that's catching that web address, so it's not bad. So there's several different ways. There's so many different ways you could do it, but you want to make sure that you're protecting your data as much as possible so that when it comes into your business, you're trying to have everybody active and knowledgeable so they can actually be aware of what the potential risks and pitfalls may be. But when you actually transmit your data, it's all good as well.
Wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about how this can also improve scalability.
Scalability, what is going to happen is that you actually have a certain amount of data that you're taking and you're putting to like some of the big servers out there. It could be AWS, it could be Google, it could be Microsoft. So it makes it easy when you go back and say, hey, look, here's the deal. There's two things you want to look for. We have, let's say, a terabyte of data out there on our storage right now. We know that we're coming really, really close to that particular number. So it's really easy. It takes like hours, a couple of hours to go back out there and say, we need to scale it up. Because all they're doing is actually provisioning additional space on some of the existing servers that they have there. So scalability, I mean, instead of going to calling a VAR reseller and ordering another terabyte of server space, and then you have to worry about somebody installing it. They have to make sure they provision it. With the data center that you're doing, it just takes, I mean, really, it literally takes minutes to spin it up and get another server there that's actually going to scale up your network. And so it's really easy. It's cost effective. It's very timely to do it. Your bandwidth is going to be high because these guys are using the highest level of fiber in and out to transmit your data inside of it. So scalability is much easier if you use the data center.
I love it. So tell us, how can outsourcing to a data center streamline cost efficiency for a business?
Excellent question. So some of it's going to go back to what I just mentioned about that scalability. So if you need to scale and you actually call your data center up and say, hey, look, we need to add additional storage space on your network, you don't have to worry about having somebody come out there and actually spin it up where you have to pay a billable hourly rate. Or if you have somebody who's actually inside your network that knows how to do that, you don't have to take he or she away from their job. It's easy just to call the data center just to spin it up and get it done. So it's really essentially outsourcing. Anytime you outsource that, you have the experts that's already there. This is what they do all day long. They know what they're looking for. It makes it so much easier, and it actually reduces your costs and reduces your capital expenditures. The other thing when it comes to it, you have to think about the other aspect of it is your other additional expenses, such as your utility costs. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to run those servers. And so you're not adding any additional equipment onto your network right now. So you don't have to worry about the higher utility bills. You don't have to worry about the maintenance board. You don't have to worry about the upgrades. You don't have to worry about the patching. So you're actually significantly reducing your additional operational costs during the same time. And the third thing I mentioned was the expertise. You have these guys who are expertise in what they do, and you don't have to worry about hiring the additional staffing to come back out and do that kind of work.
Love it. Such important information shared today. So can you leave us?
You're on mute, Rachel.
Oh my goodness. Where can we find you if we want more information?
Sure, absolutely. So you guys can easily email us at info@infinivate.com or give us a call with our sales team at 346-639-4039, or just go to the website and actually be able to download some information. The request information. Will definitely give you a call back. One of our consultants will reach back out to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maurice. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show and hear your expertise with us. We look forward to having you back again very soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 14 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 14 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. 800-367-1753.
Uno de los acuerdos principales que se realizaron en el TEMEC implica que se tienen que dar nuevas áreas de inspecciones de distintos tipos y mejoramiento en los procesos que actualmente se están llevando. Este es un proyecto con un nuevo puente internacional que tiene la versatilidad de ser un puente de prototipo en el que se van a estar instalando nuevas tecnologías para las inspecciones, para hacer pruebas de manera conjunta entre el CBP en los Estados Unidos y el Sistema de Aduanas de México. Esto es en cumplimiento a los acuerdos del Tratado de Libre Comercio que existe ahora, el USMCA. Es una necesidad que existe como tal entre México y Estados Unidos y es por eso que somos el puente más innovador, porque vamos a estar constantemente presentando nuevas tecnologías de manera conjunta con ambas autoridades.
Welcome back, everyone. I am your host, Rachel Weaver. I have a very special guest with me today, Nora Al-Masri. Nora is an enrolled agent with the Internal Revenue Services and the founder and CEO of Nora's Books. She is also an international best-selling author. Nora, it is always an honor and pleasure to have you with us on the show.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
You are such an expert in the area of tax and helping companies understand how to make sure that they're aligned with the law, but also maximize their budget. So today I want to talk about budgeting and how important it is for businesses to forecast and budget.
Sure. So think about your budget as your roadmap. If you want to go somewhere, you put that on the GPS, right? So, or you print in all days, we used to print those maps from MapQuest in order to see where the direction we are going to. Otherwise, we might get lost. So same thing for the budget. You want to have a budget for what are you expecting, and that should be based on your goal. And what's your goal? Technically, it's your revenue. How much are you going to make in revenue this upcoming year, for example, or this upcoming month, or this upcoming week? How much are you trying to make? And based on that, you should have an idea how much you have to spend in advertising if you already have budget for that. How much outreach are you going to do? What do you have to do in order to make your goal? you have to budget for all of that, because it's unrealistic to, for example, say, I'm going to make $1 million in this upcoming year, and you're not doing any outreach, you're not spending money on advertisement, you are not spending money on business development, in bookkeeping, and maybe branding consulting, anything that's going to help you to generate the revenue you said you want to generate. So you want to be realistic. And how do you know, if you don't have a budget, if you're spending enough or maybe too much or not? So you want to keep measuring and see where do you want to go, and what is going to be required for you to go and arrive to your destination. So this is basically what budget is for a business.
Love it. So important to understand for businesses, because like you said, otherwise you're kind of just throwing spaghetti at the wall, really not knowing what's going to work, and not knowing if you're going to owe a bunch of tax time or not. That's always an important thing. And if you're going to be able to afford the things that it takes to run your business, because the reality of it is, for most businesses, if you want to grow and scale, it really does take money in order to be able to do that. So just spending aimlessly doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I have a question in terms of creating a budget for, per se, nonprofits, since you are an expert in nonprofits. If I was to start a brand new nonprofit, say I just got my EIN number and my numbers for the nonprofit, and I have no money to start, right? I just have my passion in order to make a positive impact, because I hear time and time again this happening with these different nonprofits that are out there. And of course, nonprofits are something that we want to survive. A lot of people and a lot of organizations rely on nonprofits to help them personally in their personal lives, and sometimes even professionally. So if you're starting out as a nonprofit, how do you go about finding and creating income from the start in order to make a budget?
Sure. So budget, think about it as a wish list. And when you start actually a nonprofit, you want to have a plan, your business plan, because you're technically starting a business. So if you are starting a business, you're expected to be investing in that business. So whether that your own money, your boards of director money, or maybe an investors, which in this case, your donors. And don't expect that you're going to get grants. Well, there are some grants you can get in the beginning. They're not going to be large. So they're very, most of the time, it's not that great of the deal. So you should be able to collect donations, or from you, from other board members, from people who believe on you, from donors who care about the cause you are actually creating your organization to serve. So you should be able to raise money, because you're going to spend money and establishing that nonprofit, for accountant to register your business, maybe for attorney to make sure your bylaws and every other governance document is created good for your state, for, it's done correctly. You're going to actually have to be maybe hire someone to help you with, especially if you are not dedicating much time. That's if you want your nonprofit to be successful, but you have to create the budget based on that. So now, I hear someone saying, okay, but I don't know how much I will be successfully doing. Well, that's okay, because this is not set on stone. Budget can be flexible, but this is your expectation based on the information you have right now, and based on what you think you need after studying the markets, studying like, okay, these are the people I could actually connect with to support me. This is how much I can give to the nonprofit. And based on that, you create your budget. And then you want to revisit your budget consistently. So this is the document you will be looking at all day when you are visiting the budget. But I recommend at least once a week looking at that budget and see what do you have, and then set a plan to apply it. And then sometimes like there's something unrealistic in there, like it's okay, fix it, just adjust it and move forward. Educate yourself on how to get more money in order to actually build a better budget, get more donations so you can actually spend on the thing that you said you're going to spend the money on. I'm not going to say spend here, like the better term is invest, because hiring that staff member, it's not an expense. It's actually an investment for you to grow as a nonprofit. And I want to here tell the people who are starting nonprofit, stop thinking of hiring an expert, whether that's a staff member or maybe an outsourcing or maybe an advertisement as an expense, because it's not. It's actually an investment, because this is going to help you generate more income so you can help more people. Because what do you rather have? $100 to help 2-3 people, maybe if this is the case, if you even can help that many people in $100, or have $1,000 where you help 10, 20, 30 people. So you should look at the bigger picture and don't try to save money saying I'm a nonprofit and be just, I'm a nonprofit, please help me, and have this victim mindset. Make sure you turn your mindset into abundance, because nonprofits should be abundance like any other thing. If you have that scarcity mindset with a nonprofit, you will never grow. You will never be able to invest on professionals to help you with budgeting, to help you with grants, to help you with increase your donor base, to help you with accounting, like in a law also, to expand in the next region you want to expand for. You will never get into that level unless you invest in the beginning, just like any other business. So the budget's going to help you keep the focus on your goal.
So one quick question, because I know we're running short on time. Would you suggest a nonprofit starting out to actually apply for and get some capital from the bank, a loan from the bank? Because so many nonprofits start and they have nothing. They have $0, right? And they have financially, a lot of the people that start a nonprofit also, they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, and they don't have an abundance of money to put into starting this.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if bank willing to actually lend money for a nonprofit starting out, because there is a lot of misconceptions about nonprofits, and they think, okay, you're a nonprofit, how can you get this? So I would say maybe corporate sponsorship, maybe donors. I think the best luck for the nonprofit is really have donors. If you are a donor base, like you have to build your donor base in the beginning. You have to have some money set aside. Maybe like it should be from your personal and the people around you, or the people who believe in your mission. So, and trust your ability to manage the money and to make sure that you are spending this money wisely to start your projects. So I would say just like have enough information to know like how to get a donor base that's going to be loyal to you and going to help you start the nonprofits.
Love that. Such great information, Nora. Thank you so much for sharing with us today all of your knowledge and expertise. You always bring so much value every week, and we really enjoy having you on the show. Tell the audience where they can find you.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I enjoy being here with you as well. So people can go to my website, noorasbooks.com. And there are links for all my social media. I do YouTube so often, so not every day, but as much as possible. So they can follow me on YouTube. I speak a lot about nonprofits and business, tax strategies, everything. And they can book a call if they contact us there on my website, they can book a call and we can chat on Zoom and see how can we work together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nora. We look forward to having you back again soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Principalmente, como en todos los proyectos, las manifestaciones de impacto ambiental del lado mexicano y del lado americano son fundamentales. El hecho de poder tener la libertad de operar en terrenos o en propiedades que ya fueron impactadas, como es el caso de zonas mineras. El Departamento de Estado nos dijo hace 2 semanas, fue una declaración pública que se espera el 5 de abril. La opinión positiva para que este permiso presidencial sea liberado por parte del presidente Joe Biden para la instalación de este nuevo puente internacional. Y en México estamos cubriendo todos los requerimientos que se tienen en la Secretaría de Relaciones Exteriores, en la Secretaría de Comunicaciones y Transportes, en la Agencia Nacional de Aduanas de México, con la gente de Sedena. Todas las distintas instituciones gubernamentales las estamos cubriendo y atendiendo para que pueda ser un proyecto que sea muy ágil su liberación y su avance de los permisos.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 14 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 14 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. 800-367-1753.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host today, Rachel Weaver, and I have a very special guest with me today, David Aronson. David has been a successful commercial mortgage banker for over 40 years. During this time, he has arranged debt and equity capital for commercial real estate investors and developers throughout the U.S. Thanks to his many years of structuring real estate transactions, he is accurately aware of the opportunity for property owners to capitalize on opportunity. David, it is such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for having me.
I am excited to talk to you today about deployment strategies.
Yes.
So I think it's something that a lot of people don't talk a lot about, but it's really important and critical for people to understand, especially in the in my personal opinion, in the beginning of investing. So what deployment strategies are effective for accommodating the varying charging needs of residents in family complexes and condominiums?
So that's a great question, Rachel, and we get it all the time. A couple baseline thoughts. First off, very few, and it's probably less than 1% of the multifamily properties in this country ever, or have enough electricity available to host EV charging stations in the number that will eventually be needed. Keep in mind, this transition's just at the beginning, but if you're building a property today, over the next 40 to 50 years, that useful property's life cycle, you're going to have more EVs parked in the parking lot than you will gas cars. Okay. But if you keep in mind that 99% of our apartment stock, our multifamily stock, is existing, they literally, every one of these properties have issues because they don't have enough electricity to put up more than 2 or 4 charging stations. Maybe they could put up more, but it's not enough to meet the eventual demand that they're going to have at those properties.
So just for context for all the listeners, we are talking about charging stations, the charging stations for electric vehicles, such as the Tesla. And that is such an important thing to understand, especially when thinking about building a home, if you will, and making sure that you can add that in. But in the meantime, I think, I think you're spot on in talking about the fact that especially as new cars are being made and developed electronically, we soon will not have enough electricity in our home, or currently none of the homes have enough electricity. So how do you balance the installation of shared or dedicated charging stations to maximize user convenience?
So in a multifamily property, we're limited by the amount of electricity that we have. We usually can find enough electricity to put up a few charging ports, 2 to 4 charging ports. Now, one charging port can handle 7 or 8 residents who drive electric vehicles every month. Okay, it's no different than going to a gas station. You go to a gas station, depending on how much you drive, and you may go once a week, you may go once a month, you might go once every couple days. EVs are the same; they just use electricity. So if you run your battery down just like you run your gas tank down to a quarter of a tank before you look for a refill, then you'll use that charging station if it's available, 4 or 5 times a month. It just depends on your driving habits. But we generally will put up 2 to 4 charging ports in apartments, in multifamily properties, because number one, that's all we have available for electricity. But number two, they don't have that many cars there yet that are driving, residents that are driving EVs. So we don't put up more charging stations than the demand for the use of those charging stations would dictate. We see a lot of people making a mistake by putting up too many charging stations day one to ever make any money and make any return on their investment. And in addition, they're incurring operating expenses when they put these charging stations up. So we're in the business of making a revenue stream out of refueling apartment residents' EVs. And in order to do that, you need to balance the supply with the demand.
Very, very interesting. So can you tell us, are there innovative deployment models that have been proven successful in similar settings?
Well, we have, look, we think that an EV charging station is no different than a washer and a dryer. Okay. It not in the new apartments they're building today, everyone has washer and dryers, but in years past, they would have laundromats in these apartment properties. And the owner of the apartment property would lease out a room where a third party would come in and put the washers and dryers, and they would operate those washer and dryers. The charging stations are exactly the same way. So most property management companies and owners don't have enough time and enough knowledge to understand what it takes to manage them and get them up and running and maintained and priced properly. And so we believe that's what we bring to the table, is that knowledge.
I love that. So outside of homes and residences and complexes, in terms of investing in these AV charging stations, where else would you say it's accessible for someone? Maybe an investor comes in and says, you know, I think this is a smart business move. Can I buy 10 of them from you?
Well, so there are companies that are out there, you know, there's a lot of people out there looking to put up EV chargers and sell them and make a commission and a fee and, you know, and all that, kind of like the Amazon model, so to speak. You can go find someone that's making something, put it on Amazon and sell it for more. Unfortunately, there's a lot that goes into putting up an EV charging station. It's not just something you can walk by a property and stick a sticker on and say, I've got EV charging. You have to get a building permit. You have to satisfy ADA requirements. You have to have an electrician who knows what they're doing. You have to put the conduit in, which means digging a run with the, you know, in the property, and you want to make sure that you're not damaging the property. And so there's a lot that goes on to it. For an individual investor, I'm not going to say it's impossible to you know, put one and one together to go find somebody who wants to put these up, but it's not only when it's up, it's what happens after it's up. That's the thing.
Yes, I love that. And I love that you bring context and intelligence to it, because a lot of people, I think, are seeing that out there where they're like, invest in these because we're going to need them. Now's the time. But it's not so simple. It is not so simple. Just like you bring up the fact that we don't even have enough electricity in most areas for these types of things. So I appreciate you being very straightforward and candid about, no, it's not so simple. That's why people should really look to experts for these types of things.
Absolutely. Experts whose interests are aligned with the buyers, the consumers, with their clients, not investors or people who have their interests aligned with their, you know, capital provider.
Right. Very, very good. Really appreciate all this knowledge and expertise, because it is really something that we in this country, for sure, in particular, need to be thinking about as laws change and more electric cars come out. We need to be starting to think about and prepare for this, because you know, obviously a lot of people who are in the market for new cars now, why would they not want to, especially with the gas prices what they are today? So it definitely makes sense, and we always appreciate your knowledge and value. So thank you for being with us today. Where can the audience find you?
The easiest way is to find us on the internet, www.refuelevs.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, David, and we look forward to having you again on the show very soon. And with that, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends. Spend more time in range. significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Hi, my name is Michelle Merhar. You may remember me from the morning news. I'd like to tell you how getting data and documents into action fast gives you a competitive edge. Digital-first thinking to manage document workflows efficiently are giving all organizations a competitive edge. In fact, digital document automation is an essential process, helping us to become more profitable and to compete. By making any process paperless with secure automation, decisions can be made efficiently, virtually from anywhere. You'll be able to find and share documents securely in seconds. Your staff will be empowered by making optimal use of every office hour. And by the way, the size of your organization doesn't matter. Precision Products has been helping organizations for more than 30 years with paper to digital processes, including scanning systems for any document to premises and cloud document management systems. We make it easy and scalable for your business process needs from the office or other locations, even mobile devices. Contact us to see how we can help your organization succeed. Contact Will Waterall direct at 713-446-5939 and visit us on the web at precisionproductsinc.com.
Have you ever had to hire multiple contractors? It is a daunting task that takes a lot of management time and impacts the core business or the company the time you spend with your loved ones. At Texas Home Property Solutions, you can count on a responsible company that can tackle all your general contractor needs. Electricity, painting, remodeling, plumbing, air conditioning, and roofing. Hire us and forget it. With over 20 years of experience, Texas Home Property Solution will deliver your project on time and within budget, with the high level of quality and integrity, no matter the size or complexity. If you are a company, a government institution, or an individual who needs a general contractor, you need Texas Home Property Solution. Take a decisive step and call us today for a free consultation.
Welcome back to Biz Talk, everyone. I am your host, Rachel Weaver. I am thrilled to have with me today Lalit. He is the CEO of Digital X-Force and I Trust X-Force. It is such an honor and pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Rachel. Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
I am excited to dive right in to talk to you today about insider threats. As scary as that might sound, it actually is scary. But how can I mitigate the risks of insider threats, such as disgruntled employees, for example, in business?
Yeah. So, Rachel, let me actually tell you a little story before, or a use case before we get into this, because people don't fully realize and how important this is. But it is a critical aspect, the insider threat aspect in any business. There was a utility company out on the West Coast. Okay, this was a few years back we're talking about. One of the employees who pretty much like control the whole utility department over there did not feel that he was properly appraised and given promotion, and he felt bad about it. And guess what? He locks everything, all the systems, and walks away. And nobody has any clue on what's going on because he had the keys to the kingdom. That's an example of insider threat, like how one person who, for now, there could be a variety of reasons. This was like more like logical, like, I didn't get promoted and I'm not happy about it. And I don't like, not interested in this anymore. And you screw the organization, right, over there. But there could be many other, like, reasons why you should be paying attention to scenarios such as insider threat. Now, what is needed to mitigate this kind of insider threats is, number one, the philosophy of be able to, number one, define what is insider threat for you. Have a process to identify and detect, and then be able to manage the insider threat, like when that happens, like how to manage it and be able to respond to it. That's the technique you really want to really employ in there. Now, the common methods that you really, once you kind of done that you deploy to really mitigate those risks is, number one, train your employees and train your users and conduct the regular trainings on that matter. Always coordinate between information technology and the HR department, sometimes even the legal department if you have one, right? Because there's no shortage, where some instances like this really has happened, and your IT needs to work with the HR and other departments to really make sure these threats are mitigated. Also, expect sometimes the bad things will happen. So have some kind of a threat hunting team in place, or forensics and stuff when those things happen. What if somebody steals your IP, intellectual property, and leaves? What are you going to do then? So you need to have that in place as well. And then, of course, employ the user behavior analytics, because sometimes the behavior of how you're behaving, oh, Rachel is not logging in proper times, or she's trying to access certain files which she never done before. The certain activities they should start doing, or sending a lot of content over the emails, over the wire, or take things at home and other things, right, will crop up. So you got to employ the user behavior analytics solutions to really also make sure you're able to mitigate the risk. So those are some of the common methods you deploy for that.
Wow. Super interesting story, first of all, but such great information, because it really is something that we need to keep in mind, especially growing companies, and you become so focused on the growth and maybe build trust in people faster than we might, typically need to. And this can bring about things that we don't want to think about, but we really should. So
exactly,
such great information. So what tools and practices can help in monitoring employee behavior for potential threats, so we know what to watch for?
Well, some of the kind of tools and technology, or even call as procedures, right, that you can deploy for insider threat prevention, that will include, start with setting some kind of a policy, some kind of point of reference, what you should do and how to really deploy such things. Then always kind of put together some kind of a threat detection governance program, including who are the stakeholders, from legal or from IT or from HR that needs to be notified when something like this happens, right? And who needs to follow. especially in a country like ours, like in the US, you can also be victim of where people feel like discriminated because you might take certain action and people might sue you for certain things as an employer doing so, why you're taking that action. So it's very important your policy defines those matters and then how you really kind of trying to mitigate threat while not invading into the privacy of the users itself, right? The other thing then is secure your infrastructure, your network, including what if Rachel has access to all the data on the servers or in her machine and she can plug in a USB drive and take all the data out, right? Or she has access to social media and she can blast if she's not happy with something or she finds some other motivation, she blasts all my data on the social media and stuff. How to really protect that infrastructure, the network, and also map your exposure. What channels can be exploited when some an insider threat happens so that my damage is limited over there. Of course, you also want to make sure the security controls, whether it's strong authentication. We talked about how to have proper access for proper users or data being encrypted and other things, right? Put in place there. Prevent any kind of data exfiltration. One of the most common use case that we really see when insider threat happens, people want to take all your sensitive data and the files or IP away with you. So make sure that data infiltration processes are in place, right? And always monitor any kind of ideal data that's sitting in your environment, why or this idle accounts, because they can come back and really be used for malicious purposes. So these are some of the things as the best practices for insider threat prevention in any environment.
Mm-hmm. Very good information. So what should be included in an employee exit strategy to protect business data?
Yeah. So the big thing is first communication itself. Mm-hmm. So when someone is leaving or something like this happening, make sure the folks within the company, whether it's the IT or the HR department, even the people who are working with this person, that we have identified as an insider threat, they've been communicated, when the person is leaving or not. Mm-hmm. Making sure that the access is properly taken care of means you disable the access and change the passwords and stuff. Also recover any kind of assets that are owned by this person, right? Whether it's the mobile devices, whether it's a laptop or a machine, or even other kind of things that have been assigned. And that's the reason why asset management, asset inventory comes in play. Make sure you analyze the data or those devices as well as other systems for, no malicious activity happen, and then do the proper data remediation. Sometimes, by the way, you'll also have to keep those devices and stuff for a certain period of time, just in case you are part of the litigation and stuff. So important criteria to follow. Don't just clean up the day one, everything. You check with your legal and privacy, right? What's the kind of the data retention policies or other things that you have to really do for a certain period of time. And then, of course, make sure, you are monitoring the systems and the devices and any actions on the network, for that kind of user when they've left, right, over there. Last but not the least, there are times when you will need a forensics expert because you're part of the litigation or you suspect there's some IP and other things. Make sure you have those kind of contexts and processes and teams ready at your disposal when you need them. Don't be stranded at the last minute. So these are some of the things that you can employ to as part of the employee exit strategy, right, to protect your business data.
Such great information. Really appreciate you being on and sharing your expertise. Where can we find you?
Well, you can reach us on our websites, whether it's digitalexforce.com or itrustexforce.com. There's a lot of valuable data information provided and shared every day, every week with the audience. Of course, they can send us an email, and the email addresses are part of those websites as well. Or they can reach us on the social media such as LinkedIn, Lalit Ahluwalia on LinkedIn, and you can find that information too.
Thank you so much. So great having you with us. And with that, we are so grateful that you joined us today on Biz Talk. We will see you all again next week.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rachel. Once again, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Hi,
I am Noura Al-Masri and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Uno de los acuerdos principales que se realizaron en el TEMEC implica que se tienen que dar nuevas áreas de inspecciones de distintos tipos y mejoramiento en los procesos que actualmente se están llevando. Este es un proyecto con un nuevo puente internacional que tiene la versatilidad de ser un puente de prototipo en el que se van a estar instalando nuevas tecnologías para las inspecciones, para hacer pruebas de manera conjunta entre el CBP en los Estados Unidos y el Sistema de Aduanas de México. Esto es en cumplimiento a los acuerdos del Tratado de Libre Comercio que existe ahora, el USMCA. Es una necesidad que existe como tal entre México y Estados Unidos, y es por eso que somos el puente más innovador, porque vamos a estar constantemente presentando nuevas tecnologías de manera conjunta con ambas autoridades.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Entran a tu sistema operativo y bajan tus fotos personales íntimas y las están circulando. En fin, este manual te va a dar el ABC de qué es un delito, que ya que lo detectes, sepas dónde denunciarlo, y con el apoyo de la alcaldía y de esta Defensoría Jurídica de primer contacto en el ámbito penal, te podamos dar el acompañamiento para que ningún delito quede impune y ningún violentador ande libre. Creo que eso es lo más importante de este manual, que, como repito, será impreso y será de manera virtual para los que ya dominan todas las nuevas tecnologías.
Muchísimas gracias, candidata. Candidata Gastelú, ¿quiere hacer uso de la voz?
Gracias. Y vamos a hablar más de prevención. Les había platicado que necesito embellecer los centros educativos. Todos los que se asientan en la alcaldía, tengo que invertir como nunca en las primarias, en las secundarias, en los jardines de niños, en cualquier centro educativo, en los centros de atención municipal que atienden a niñas y niños con discapacidad y que están colapsados, que están desbordados, ya no tienen las posibilidades para contratar a más maestros que sean intérpretes de LSM o sencillamente que tengan la perspectiva de discapacidad y que están desbordados por la gran cantidad de niñas y niños con discapacidad. capacidad que tenemos en la alcaldía. Si quiero prevenir el delito, necesito invertir en educación. Si quiero prevenir el delito, necesito apoyar a las niñas y a los niños, volver a dejar preciosas las escuelas, los espacios públicos. Y para eso, insisto, los necesito a ustedes. Además, hay otro tema muy delicado en la alcaldía, que son los campamentos de personas migrantes. Hemos ya considerado esto como una crisis humanitaria, porque aunque no todas las personas que se encuentran en estos campamentos